So, yeah, a very good morning to everyone again. And let's get started with our session for today. So, how many of you all completed the assignment that was given to you yesterday? It was a very simple assignment, isn't it? Yes, very good, very good. So, I think everyone completed their assignment. Superb. Okay, so far we have completed with listening skills. We have completed reading skills. I also think did you get the summary of reading skills? I think I attached that also in yesterday's. If you see the assignment today, I have attached the summary for reading skills. Guys, please save these summaries somewhere in your, in your drive or in your laptop somewhere. Please save the summary because it is basically the gist of the entire session. Okay, so it has the gist of the entire session that we have completed so far. So please ensure that you save the summary and keep somewhere. It will be very helpful for you in general for your curriculum here. And also when you have your evaluations, it will be very helpful. Okay. All right. So let's get started with today's session. So in yesterday's session, what all did we cover, guys? Can anyone tell me what all did we cover? Yes, we did reading skills. What in reading skills did we do? Everyone is saying reading. I know that. What did we do in reading skills? What are the five types of reading skills? Yeah, what are the types? Tell me the types that we have covered. Okay. Skimming, review. Okay. Active reading. Was it there? Active reading was there? Yes. Preview, skimming, active reading, analytical reading, and review. Yes, absolutely correct. That is what we covered in yesterday's session. We also saw what is the importance of reading at workplace. That is something which we covered. Correct. And we also saw that how it adds value if you have good reading skills. How does it improve your presence whenever you are at work? Then we also saw some tips that can help you in reading better. Can someone recall what were the tips of reading? What can help you to read better? Okay, read loudly. All right. What else? Take notes. Okay. Yes, you should underline, jot down, read loudly, quiet study location. Okay, very good. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Okay, all right. So I'm glad most of you all were very attentive during the session yesterday, and everyone has written correct answers. So today we are done. So yesterday we completed reading skills, and today we are going to move to a very interesting skill, which is speaking skill. I think most of us, when we talk about communication skill, the first skill that comes to our mind is speaking skills, right? It's like that's the only everyone thinks that this is the only most important skill, and usually reading, writing, and listening are a little ignored skills, isn't it? If you know, fine. If you don't know, then let it be. correct? But speaking is usually given a lot of importance, but I think it gets better only when you listen carefully, when you read stuff, only then you'll be able to speak properly, isn't it? So it's like an effort which definitely contributes a lot. Just give me a second, guys. Okay, can you hear me, everyone? Yeah, I think I wasn't able to unmute myself. There was some issue with my Zoom. Okay. Uh, right. So we were talking about speaking skills, and now before I start, I'm going to show you the slides which we have, that why is reading it's an important art. Of course, we should know how to speak better. So let's look at a few statistics which will help you understand why is speaking skills important. I'm just going to start by sharing my screen. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Fine. Let's get started then. All right. And no chit chatting in the chat box. Okay. So let's get started. We're going to have 4 days of speaking skills. Okay, guys. So the first one is, 3 days of speaking skills. So no matter what job you have in life, your success will always be determined by these 4 factors. Okay. 5% of your academic credentials. Okay, that is something which contributes 5% of whatever, your studies, your school, your college, whatever you have done. I'm sorry, whatever you have done so far, your academic credentials will obviously be counted. Then 15% by your professional experience. Like, when you start working, obviously, it definitely counts, correct? So your academic profession, after your academics, then comes your professional experience. So your whatever companies you have worked with, your professional, expertise, whatever you have learned. So all these things. After that comes 80% is determined by your communication skills. So imagine throughout our lives, we focus so much on academic credentials, like you should study well, you should score well, you should score about 90%, you should have A plus in all your subjects. But ideally, if you see how much does that actually contribute is something which is very, very important. Correct? So it's only 5% that actually contributes to your academics. Then your professional experience, whatever you are, whichever company you're working with, how many years you've worked there, the projects you have handled, the technical aspects that you have dealt with, which position you were at, all this will contribute about 15%. And the maximum contribution that comes from is your communication skills. So the way you are interacting with people, the rapport that you build with people around you, how are you as a team member? Do you collaborate well with your team members, or are you someone who only likes to work alone individually? All these things definitely contribute to making your life easier at workplace, right? So communication skills are extremely important, and we don't just say it. Trust me, when all of you would land into getting placements, when you are going to be there, it definitely, you'll understand the importance of this, that how communication skills play a very, very important role in your life. Okay, so these were some facts that I wanted to share. Next comes something that is people with less programming skills but much better communication skills will often be more successful. And why do we say that? Because see, you have programming skills, you have the relevant knowledge, but if people can't see it, if you don't, if it's not communicated to them properly, then how will people know, right? So everyone needs to know that this person has the relevant skills, and that will happen only when you are able to communicate about it. Okay. Which of these words best describe you generally feel about public speaking? So I'm going to show you some words. Okay. You need to guess and pick and tell me which of these words define you the best. Okay, whenever sip you're supposed to introduce yourself, it's your first day at work, you all are hired for no broker. Okay, and it's your first day at work, and the the manager there tells you, okay, please introduce yourself to everyone. Okay, so what is it? So how do you introduce yourself? And now you're supposed to publicly speak. What is the feeling that you will have? Okay, I'm going to show you some words. Will you be nervous? Will you be excited? Will you be calm? Will you be afraid? Come on. What will be your emotion or your expression at that point of time? Okay, a lot of people have said nervous, excited, calm, afraid, nervous. Okay. Pretend to be calm but nervous. Yeah, we all pretend that we are okay, but then it definitely bothers us. Correct. So most of us will, now I'm sure you're saying calm. But if you're supposed to speak in public for the first time and you don't know the people, everyone is going to sit there and judge you. Correct. So all of us will definitely be nervous. Okay. Even I will be nervous if I'm supposed to introduce myself in front of like a set of new people. Okay, of course you might be excited about doing it because it's your first job, and you're excited about it, you're happy that you're finally placed in a good company. Correct, that is definitely going to be there. But then there will be a little bit of nervousness that, oh my god, I should not make any mistake, I should be able to talk properly and introduce myself properly. Correct, so it will be a combination of these things. Fine. So if you count yourself among those who, who for whom public speaking causes anxiety, you are not alone. So if you are someone here who's, who feels afraid, who feels nervous, okay, it's fine. Historic figures like Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Winston Churchill, Warren Buffett all dealt with public speaking anxiety. And see, they are great leaders, they are influential leaders. Correct. So it's fine if if you feel something like this, but you need to overcome that. Okay, it's not that you need to it's not wrong to feel these things, that you're nervous, you're afraid, you feel anxious when you're supposed to speak in front of the public. It's fine to feel these emotions, it's absolutely normal. But then after a certain point, it should not hold you. It shouldn't be that, oh my god, I constantly feel nervous, I'm not able to express myself and all these things, it shouldn't hold your talent, it shouldn't hold you as an individual. That's a wrong thing. So if you're feeling all these things, then you should make an effort to overcome that. You should make an effort to improve that and get over it. Correct? That is something which I will suggest all of you all to do. Correct? So if you are from that category, and trust me, I have seen this. If you I've seen students who, when they came in, they were so shy and they were not able to talk, and then eventually when they got into this habit of, especially the videos, the assignments that I give you where you're supposed to create videos, they actually started posting these videos on LinkedIn, and they used to tag me and they used to tag other trainers, and that is how, they actually started improving, because people started seeing them and, oh, this person is able to talk so well in English, and they started feeling very confident about themselves, very confident about the way they, were the way they were doing overall. So it's about making an effort to improve and not just hold back. Okay, so it's okay if you're feeling these emotions that we saw in the earlier slide, nervousness, feeling anxious, feeling afraid, but you should know how to get over it. Okay. Now, what is the learning objective for today's session that we have? So we're going to learn about these three important things. That is why people struggle to communicate well, three major elements of speaking skills, and how can you improve your vocabulary and voice. Okay, yesterday I saw someone, I do see your messages, guys. I saw someone messaged me, how do I improve my rate of speech? Someone messaged me, how do I learn better? So we are definitely doing these things in the class. So just have patience. All of us will work on it and improve things better to get better at it. Okay, so before I go ahead with today's getting into the session for today, I would like to share a very interesting video with all of you. I'll play that for you guys. It's a really nice TED talk. It's by Michael Webb. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can watch it. Okay. Able to hear? Is it clearly audible? Okay, fine, fine. All right. Let's start.
I distinctly remember my single greatest day of employment, the greatest day of work I ever had. I had previously, about 7 years before, was hired to start a new company for a large Fortune 500, and it was at the National Awards banquet where my peers had named me Manager of the Year. And as I got to pose with the CEO of this big Fortune 500 company, they gave me a plaque, and on the plaque it read, "For recognizing our employees as our most valued asset." And then 9 months later, they laid me off. I remember distinctly.
Okay, I'll turn on the subtitles. Sorry.
I distinctly remember my single greatest day of employment, the greatest day of work I ever had. I had previously, about 7 years before, was hired to start a new company for a large Fortune 500, and it was at the National Awards banquet where my peers had named me Manager of the Year. And as I got to pose with the CEO of this big Fortune 500 company, they gave me a plaque, and on the plaque it read, "For recognizing our employees as our most valued asset." And then 9 months later, they laid me off. I remember distinctly how I felt. I was crushed, and I realized that from that moment on, the rest of my entire professional life, I would be at best a temporary employee. It was completely undifferent from my parents' generation. My father, my stepfather who raised me, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they all came out of college and had one job their entire career that they ended up retiring from. One job. Well, I'm here to tell you that those days are done. They're done. And so if we're all going to be going from job to job throughout our lives, I think it pays to find out a little bit about what it takes to be hired and how to be successful in finding new jobs. So again, the times have changed. My father-in-law is probably the one exception to this. He's the single smartest person I have ever known in my entire life. If we took the entire campus of UC Davis, where we're at here, I would count him, he's probably in the top 3. He's that kind of smart. He was one of the head chemists on the atomic bomb. He's the guy that helped make uranium turn into plutonium, right? That kind of smart. And in fact, he lived with us, my wife and I, until he passed away a few years ago, probably lived under the same roof for about 15 years. And I remember one time talking to him, and I was in his little home office, and he had this little jar, a little lead jar. I said, "What's that, Dad?" He goes, "I never showed that to you." And he takes it off, and he throws this thing in my eye. "What's that?" He goes, "That's some uranium left over from the war." Like you, he thought that was funny. I remember the look on my face as it's sitting in my hand was it's the same look that my dog makes when it sees a cat on TV. It's kind of, uh-oh. I remember distinctly that he's coming from a completely different standpoint. When you're that smart, the world will come calling on you. You never have to look for a job. But the rest of us, mere mortals, all of you here today, right? We're going to have to look for jobs from time to time. And as an executive in the recruiting business, the most valuable lesson I learned on who gets hired and why happened to me about 23 years ago. I was having lunch with a friend of mine, a recruiter, very successful recruiter. We'll call him Scott, because that's his name. And Scott, I said, "Scott, what's the key to your success?" Now, Scott was the expert at placing executive admins. If you need an executive admin, you called Scott, and he says, "The first thing I do is I sit down and I make a laundry list of everything the hiring manager is looking for. I want to know their education and the background and the software they need to know and the work experience. I make that big laundry list, right? You've seen a job description. You've seen the laundry list that companies are looking for." He says, "I make that list, and then I go find exactly that person. And as soon as I find one that just fits exactly that person, I stop what I'm doing, and I go down to the mall. No, I don't need to go shopping, but I go down to the mall. I like to go on a weekday evening or on a weekend, and I find someone working in retail with great customer service and great communication skills. And I talk to them. And if they have a third of what I'm looking for, I present the two of them side by side. And 9 times out of 10, the great communicator gets hired." Can you believe that? They make this list. They make this list of what they're looking for, and then they hire somebody completely different. And the reason why they hire this person is a lesson that my mother taught me selling real estate. And when it comes to selling real estate, the thing that she always knew better than anybody is that buyers are liars. Buyers are liars. So you've read a job description, right? Where it lists everything that a company's looking for, the hiring manager's looking for. Well, that's this laundry list that they intellectually put together that makes all the sense in the world. It's a logic-based, this is what somebody will be successful doing the job. But then they go hire something completely different. They hire based on emotion, not logic. And the emotion that drives how and why people hire is not the emotion that they want to be successful. If you think about it, stop for a second. Think hiring manager. Hiring manager, the next couple of people they hire is going to determine their success or failure. So there's a lot of weight on hiring good people. And the emotion that helps them make the decision is not the emotion that I want to be successful, ergo I'll hire successful people. No, the emotion that people hire on is fear. Hiring managers are scared to death that they're going to hire somebody that's going to say or do something stupid, and they, the hiring manager, are going to lose their job. So what do? They hire great communicators. They hire great communicators because it's less risk for them of losing their job if they hire somebody who communicates well. And they figure they'll teach them the rest. They can convince them the rest. And so that's how they make their decision. A couple of years ago, I was helping an IT director hire some IT support staff. And they gave me the laundry list of what they were looking for, right? The experience and all the software credentials and certifications and all this, and the right education. And I went and I found 2 people that fit exactly that model, exactly what they were looking for. And they passed on both of them. I said, why did you pass? What's wrong with these people? I said, well, I'm putting this person in front of some executives supporting their IT initiatives, and I just didn't feel comfortable putting somebody in front of our top executives. I said, oh, you're looking for a better communicator. So what did I do? I found someone who had 1/3 of what they were looking for, but communicated well. And they hired them on the spot. They hired them on the spot. And so that brings me to job search rule number 1. Job search rule number 1 is that resumes don't get jobs. People do. Resumes don't get jobs. People do. It doesn't matter your resume, your degree, your GPA, your pedigree, your CV. None of that matters when you get to the interview. Because if you get to the interview, they already want to hire you. They already want to hire you. The only thing you can do at the job interview is lose it. And the way you lose it is by saying or doing something stupid. Hiring managers hire the communicator. And so it's to our financial best interest to become the best communicator we possibly can be. Why? Because communication is the multiplier of knowledge. Communication is the multiplier of knowledge. If we take our knowledge and we take that perfect person who has all of the qualifications, and if we place their value at 100 and they're a poor communicator, they're worth less than the 100, maybe half. But we take somebody who has half of that and they're a good or great communicator, they can be worth 2 to 3 times that because they can share what they know. The great communicators get hired first. So stop and think for a second. If we were to divide the world up into poor communicators, average communicators or good communicators, and great communicators, that's about 1/3 for each. 1/3 of you, statistically, 1/3 of you, look around, 1/3 of you are poor communicators. 1/3 of you are good. Look left. They're doing it right here on the front row. Look left, look right. 1/3 of you are good statistically. 1/3 of you could stand some improvement. 1/3 of you are great. This guy down here in orange is looking at me like right now, is the same look my dog gives me. Ruh-roh. I know, I saw it. So it's okay. You have friends here and you can get better, okay? So it is possible to turn our weakness into our strength. It is possible for poor communicators to become good and for good communicators to become great. And I wasn't quite sure of this until I witnessed firsthand a poor communicator become good. When my middle daughter was in 4th grade, she was in what we call the poor communicator. In the 4th grade, she was falling apart, and she was diagnosed that year with high-functioning autism. Incredibly smart young lady who had a horrendous time communicating with the world and was literally just falling apart. And as she was in 4th grade, I thought to myself, she is not going to make it to junior high. It just isn't going to happen. And I couldn't even think beyond that. But her mother and I and every single specialist and all the help that we could get, and through her own work and her own efforts, this poor communicator that can barely get through 4th grade eventually became a good communicator. And she went on to junior high and was successful. And she went on to high school without any help from any additional services and did amazingly well. And she just finished her freshman year at a prestigious Western university. And I'm so proud of her. I have seen firsthand that we can get better, but the only way we can get better is if we believe and put forward the effort. Belief plus effort equals success. And as we've discussed, it's to our financial best interest to stay employed because the communicators get employed to become better. It's not going to just happen because we wish it. It's not going to happen because we take really hard classes that are really hard. We have to be able to communicate what we know at a higher level, and then we'll have success if we put forward the effort. Again, poor can become good, good can become great. Now, I never realized how important it was to be a good or great communicator. Then one morning, I was having breakfast. I was introducing 2 consultants to each other, my good friends Al and Joel. We were having breakfast. My phone starts ringing. I excuse myself from the table. I come back, and my friend Al says, "You look white. Is everything okay?" And I said, "I don't know how to explain this to you guys, but I've got an emergency at home. I have to go right now." And they said, "What is it?" And I said, "That was my wife on the phone. There's 25 FBI agents at my home with Geiger counters looking for uranium." True story. Now, you think in life, I have to communicate well. You don't think in life, I have to communicate well because I have to go talk to FBI agents with Geiger counters looking for uranium in my home, and they're likely to find it. Can you imagine my neighbors talking to each other that afternoon? "Oh yeah, Michael, nice guy, kind of quiet, keeps to himself," right? I'm sure my neighbor Joe across the street, I could see him peering through his window as the FBI are storming my house, peering through the window, and he gives it a, "Uh-oh." It is to all of our advantage. It is to all of our advantage to become the best communicator we possibly can be. And in so doing, we will become and exceed our own potential. Go do it. Thank you.
Okay. So I think most of y'all did enjoy the video, but I could actually see some people still writing in the chat box in spite of me saying like 100 times that please don't write when the session is going on, or because if the chat box option pops up, I think, oh my God, is there any video problem, audio problem, internet problem? Can't they hear? Subtitles are on, off, So I really want to see it, right? So, okay. There, what is the message then? Let me see if the people were writing. Okay. Yeah, so basically, I don't know, I can't find it, but I think there was some message which said that what about our technical skills? That's a good question. So, it's see, it's a combination. Okay, it's we are emphasizing communication skills, but they are not the only important part. Yes, communication is important. Communication is one of the most important aspects to get you jobs, to be to make you able enough to hold that job in future, reach a position, be successful, be someone who is a great entrepreneur if you want to. All these things are important, but with your technical skills also. It's not only technical skills. As of now, I think a lot of students, a lot of people feel that, if I know Java, if I know MERN, if I know if I know web development, that's it. I'm going to be the best person who the company is going to hire. This is the mentality that people have. But when they sit for placements, like if you heard in the video, ideally, the job description will never say the candidate should be a good communicator. The candidate should be, someone who can speak well, communicate well. They will never say that. But when you go there and when you speak, even if you make two mistakes in an answer, but you're able to express yourself confidently with a lot of conviction in what you're saying, even if you've made those two mistakes, no, you will be hired. And trust me, this is from my experience. I remember when I have done my MBA in finance, and when I went for my first interview, a lot of, they were asking me finance related questions, journalizing questions, and all of that. Which side account, which side debit, which side credit, all these things were asked to me. And when you are under stress, no, even if you make a mistake, correct? So I made a couple of mistakes, but communication was always my strong point, right? So initially, in first few minutes, the interviewer already makes up their mind whether I'm going to hire this person or reject this person, because your bookish knowledge is only up to a point. They will check if you know little bit. Otherwise, when practical implementation is very different from the theory that we have learned, isn't it? So they just want to see if this person able to get into this company, will they understand? So it's basically not the resume, like the video told you, that is not going to get you job. If you are there at that interview point, you are already there because they like you. It's now up to how you conduct yourself there, how well you speak, how well you represent yourself there, and that is going to get you that job. Okay. And trust me, we are not trying to say that your technical skills are not important, or your TSA, Java, coding, MERN, web development is not important. Yes, that is important, but with good communication skills. The companies are looking out for for someone who has a combination of this, not just one of it. Okay, so just understand that. No, a lot of students, I think they got offended that, oh, what about our technical skills? Uska koi importance nahi hai kya? That is how I got some messages. But of course, it is important, guys. But then let's not ignore the fact that communication is one important aspect. Okay. Um, Fine. Let's continue now with our going back to our PPT. So these TED Talks actually, if you even listen and if you watch these TED Talks also, um, you will definitely learn a lot of things, because I really like watching them. It gives you a lot of scope for learning new things, right? So somewhere, if you've heard something, you can just copy paste that one line in an interview also. कहीं सुना है यहाँ का वहाँ, you can just put it, because it is something which is interesting. No, if you keep listening to new stuff, good stuff, you'll know where to put it. Correct. So if you keep listening to something good, it will definitely be in your mind always. So there are a couple of myths. Myths means assumptions, some things that people feel they are right, but then like, if a cat crosses your way, or the crosses the road, then it's a bad thing. So something like that. There are a couple of myths around communication and public speaking skills also, which is, you must have very good vocabulary in English. No, even if you have basic vocabulary, no one is asking you to be Shashi Tharoor or Karan Johar, that you should use big words while you're speaking. No. If you use those big words and the other person is not able to understand what you're saying, then it makes no sense. Right? Simple communication is also very effective, but it should be done, it needs to be done in a certain, you should be able to communicate properly. You must be an extrovert. Like, you should be someone who is talkative, bubbly, and continuously speaking, have lots of friends. No, that's not about public speaking. Correct. So it's not like that. See, if you see so many people who are good communicators, even if you see Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Sushant Singh Rajput, if you see, they are people who are not very talkative by nature, but when they speak in public, when they speak in front of the camera, they definitely say stuff which makes sense. Correct? So ultimately, whatever you're saying should make sense. It doesn't matter how much you're saying. You are a born speaker, or at best you have learned this during your childhood or high school days. That's also a myth. See, no one is a born speaker. It's not something which is acquired by birth. Correct? It's not a talent, it's a skill, and skill can be developed. Okay, like maybe today I don't know how to do coding and how to create a website, but I can learn it. Correct? If I take proper guidance, I also enroll myself for the Masai program, I'll also learn, isn't it? So that is something which is learnable. You can do it. Similarly, communication is also something which you can learn. There is nothing like I can't do it, and you can do everything, but it's the mindset. So communication is a skill that you learn. Like I told you, it's something like riding a bicycle or typing. If you have deep desire to implement it and deliberately practice it, you will definitely do it. Right? It's nothing that you can't do. So basically, there are 4 steps to doing this. The first one is to have a deep desire to be a good communicator, right? uh it's nothing but if you genuinely feel that okay, this is something which I need to improve, only then you will do it. Very simple. Correct? Similarly, if I feel okay, I need to lose weight, I need to work on my diet, I need to go work out, only if I feel that I've put on weight, or only if I feel that I need to take care of myself, only then I'll do it, isn't it? Similarly, if you need to be a good communicator, you should first have that desire to work on, you should feel that, yes, I need to work on this. Then understand the process, methods, techniques, and tools. Like, what are the things that I need to work on? What will make it better? How can I learn? What should I do? So, the process to make it better. And then deliberate practice. Plan, prepare, practice, perform. So, you can't just read books, you can't just listen to people, you have to implement it also. Correct? I can give you a lot of gyan on being a good communicator, but ultimately, it is you who has to implement it. It is you who has to put that into action. Correct? So that is practicing it, and then enjoy the process, seize every opportunity to communicate better and address larger audience. So whenever there is an opportunity, whenever you feel that okay, I can say some few words, always grab that opportunity. Always try to fight that fear that you have for public speaking or stage fear that you have. Only then, see, I can watch a lot of videos on swimming. I can watch a lot of videos on the different techniques people use for swimming. But I will learn only when I jump into the pool and I start using my hands and legs, right? Only then I'll get better at it, right? Otherwise, it's very nice. Okay, yeah, I know swimming. I've watched videos around it. It doesn't work like that. If you want to get better at it, you have to get on to the stage and do it. Okay. So most people run after degrees, certificates, then eventually when they get it and they get qualified enough, what they forget is communication is something which will get them the job, growth, and success. Correct? So it's not only your degree or your certificates. Yes, they are important. They are definitely important. But trust me, now companies are moving towards people who are genuinely qualified and talented rather than just degree. So even, here at Masai, they don't ask for your 10th result mark sheet, 12th mark sheet, graduation mark sheet. They don't ask for these things here. They will just interview you. If they feel you are good enough, you're hired. If they feel you're not good enough, then you're not hired. Very simple. So, is there any formula to get this right? Is there any way in which you can, do this? Yes, there is. So, skill set plus tool set into mindset. The skill set is what skills you have in terms of your technical skills, your communication skills, plus tool sets. What are the, your knowledge about different languages that you have learned, and then the mindset to get this right. A lot of people still feel that it's only the technical skills that are important. These communication skills make no sense. So it's the mindset that needs to be right, and if you have this combination, you are already there to getting better at your communication, and success and growth will definitely come your way. So it's basically 70, 20, and 10 ratio. So your mindset, your skill set, and tool set. That is how the combination is. It's all about how you look at things, how your mindset works towards getting things better. Okay, so this is the combination that you should have to get better at your communication skills and excel at your workplace. So you want to transform your communication skills, or do you just want to improve it by 5 or 10%? What do you think? What do you want to do? Whatever you say, we'll do that. You want to transform. See, I'll tell you a difference between just improving and then transforming. Okay. If you see a caterpillar, you know, what is a caterpillar? It's when a butterfly is not born butterfly. Correct? It's a caterpillar first, and then from that caterpillar, it eventually turns into a beautiful butterfly. Correct? So that is transformation. You can't go back to what you were. Correct? You have transformed. Now the butterfly cannot go back into a caterpillar. And then I give you another example, which is you've seen water getting into ice. You freeze water, it becomes ice. Correct? And then you leave the ice outside for some time, it gets back to water. So your improvement will sometimes be like ice and water. You're improving, you're getting back. You're improving, you're getting back. But your transformation is something which takes time, but it's beautiful, and you don't go back to the stage you started with. Now you have to decide whether you want to be that butterfly or you want to be that water and ice that can go back and forth. So your transformation should be something which is starting from basics and becoming a beautiful butterfly, and it should be something which will be there with you for a lifetime. Okay, so you have to decide where do you want to go. All right, a lot of people have chosen transformation. So very good choice, guys. We will ensure that we have beautiful butterflies by the end of your journey with Masai. So you cannot learn this overnight. It doesn't happen like that. It's a long journey, and it's a never-ending journey. You have to practice it day in and day out. Even if today, even if I have to do a presentation, I have to practice that. It's not something which I am it doesn't. Yes, there is a practice. Because I'm doing it every day, I have a hang of it, but it is not something which I can't uh improve. There is always a scope for improvement. If I watch someone else's session, I feel, oh nice, this is something that they are doing, even I should implement it. Correct? So that is something which it's a everyday process. Okay, so I'll just stop here. If you have any questions, you guys can ask me, because I saw some messages in the chat box, so I thought I'll stop and ask. Okay, what are the questions? Ma'am, can you show step slide? I'll show that at the end. Transforming. Okay. How can we improve speaking? We are not getting time to talk to any of our friend. Very nice. We'll give you time. Don't worry. We'll give you time. Okay. moving to the slide. Rahul, what is it that you have raised your hand?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I have a question actually.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So I watched the video TED Talk, and one question arises that how would I know that I have a good communication skill or my communication skill is effective or not? Even I can communicate in English or with any language. So how would I know that my communication skill is effective or making some impact? So
See,
that's
it
my
it
question.
definitely depends upon the way you talk to people, the way how people react to you. That is something which will make you understand if your communication is effective. Is it better? Is it something that people, how are they responding to you when you're talking to certain people? Correct? And we can definitely find out our mistakes when you're speaking. It's not something which you can't find out. And with time and practice, the way you speak, you can understand it by the expressions people are making while you're speaking, the way you're talking. Now when I look at you people, when I'm saying something, if you're nodding, if you're smiling, if I can feel, okay, they are able to understand, they're able to relate to it, they're able to identify with what I'm trying to say. So that gives me a hint that, okay, these people are liking it. Similarly, if you're a comedian, when you're cracking jokes, when you're trying to be entertaining, if people are laughing, it means that, okay, I am doing something right, that people are laughing, right? Similarly with your communication skills, if you are a good communicator, you will get that hint from people when you're talking. Very simple. I hope I've answered your question, Rahul. You can just show a thumbs up if it's fine, or else you can raise your hand. Okay, I think fine. Okay. All right, so moving on to our next part of the session. So, what is effective communication, and how does like your question, Rahul, but can be answered here also. So, what leads to effective communication? You will be a quick problem solver. You'll be able to make stronger decisions. Your productivity at work will be better. Your workflow will be more steadier because you'll have good hold over it. Your business relationships will be stronger. It will enhance your professional image, and you will have a better stakeholder response, because your stakeholders are people who want to know how the company is working, how things are, your external clients. Correct? So that is how things will get better, and your communication, so all these things will show up when you're effective at communication skills. Okay, now what can you do in order to ace English or get better at it? Try to speak English every day. Learn common phrases. I'll give you these common phrases also. Okay, we have that later in the session. Be ready to make mistakes, because until unless you make mistakes, you will not learn, because none of us is perfect. Correct? Enjoy the learning process. It's going to be tough, it's going to be challenging, but it's going to definitely lead to getting better. Okay, so you should learn that process. Now, this is an activity which I'm going to do with you all tomorrow. Okay, so, but I'll take you through it. It's a very simple trick to become fluent at speaking English. Okay, so it's called the jam technique, which is just a minute. Okay, so there are 3 steps in it, wherein the first step, you talk about a topic. So you're given a minute, and suddenly I will give you any topic, like talk about television, talk about sports. Okay, so I give you any topic, you have 1 minute to talk. Any topic can be given. So you have to keep talking for that entire 1 minute. You cannot stop. You cannot repeat. There are no props. You have to just talk. You don't get time to prepare. Then second thing is, you can, if you mentally, these notes can be there in your mind. So if you get a country, this is what you can include. If you get some culture, this is what you can include. You can talk about the economy, right? So if I say Japan, so you can talk about its history, its culture, its economy. So that is how things can get to your mind. And then last is assessment. So this you can do it for yourself, or you can do it with a friend, record it on your mobile or on Zoom, and then show it to your friends or someone and see how much were you able to cover in that 1 minute. Did you repeat yourself? Did you make sense when you were talking? Correct. So this is an activity which we will do tomorrow, so that you guys are able to, communicate with each other, and you can tell me how did that go. Okay. So this we'll cover in tomorrow's session. And then the key to make this is practice. So I'll give you all time in tomorrow's session to practice as much as you can to get better. Okay. Are we clear so far? Perfect. So let's move to the learning check for today then. Okay, let me just share my screen. All right. So how much do these three skills contribute to a person's speaking skills? Mindset, skill set, and tool set. A, B, C. What's the correct answer? Yes, A is the correct answer. Which of the following pointers would not help you if you ace English language? Will not help you. C, you must avoid making mistakes. Correct, you should make mistakes. Which of these is a myth around public speaking? Okay, I have a combination of answers. The correct answer is D. You are not a born speaker and you are an introvert. Sorry, you must be B and C. Sorry, you need to have very good good vocabulary. Okay. You can learn this skill overnight. It is a long journey, actually never ending journey. You need to practice day in and day out. True or false? A lot of them are saying true. Very few people have said false, but the correct answer is false. You cannot learn this skill overnight. Okay, which of these is not a technique to be followed in the jam technique? Which of these is not a technique? Okay, the correct answer is all the above. Sorry, which of these is a technique? I think I've written the question wrong. Identify which of the below statements are correct about fluency. Yes, absolutely correct. Fluency means speaking without any hesitation. Absolutely correct. I think this fifth question should be which of these is a technique. Yeah. Okay, what's the assignment for today, guys? Let's look at the assignment for today. So basically what you need to do is you need to record a 3 to 5 minute project presentation on Masai School website. Okay, so like you people create your own websites during Construct Week. You need to imagine that the Masai School website is created by you, and you need to identify what is, how is the landing page, how is the sign in page, how does it look like, what is the tech stack you've used. So in 3 to 5 minutes you need to give a project presentation on the Masai School website. Okay, so you can share your screen while you are creating it, and you can speak on it for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, yes, you can share your screen. You can open the Masai School website on your laptop, and you can present it and then explain it. Got it? Yes, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I just wanted to ask that you said that we have to learn daily new things like a new phrases, new words. So,
Hmm.
ma'am, we are doing these kind of things for a long time. But when we are talking in front of someone, we forgot that like what we learned before, phrases and the structure of sentences. So this kind of problem happens with me, ma'am. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
especially me.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that I forgot about grammar, forgot about phrases like what should I use here, what is the good things, and a big thing is, ma'am, that Yogesha said to us that uh, at that time he was learning English, there is lack of resources. But ma'am, having a lot of resources, it's another issue because we confuse that where should we
Absolutely.
start, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So
So
this happens when there is lack of practice, Abhishek. If you are
yes,
in a
ma'am.
practice of speaking every day, it will not make you nervous or you will not forget. See, I get it when there is someone speaking really very good English in front of you, you will be a little, more conscious that I shouldn't make mistakes. I totally get that point. Correct. But if you are constantly like now, I'm giving you these video assignments. Why is it? So that you all are able to talk in front of the camera, right? If you want, if you feel okay, today I've made a really good video, I've spoken well, I've my English is good, everything is good, right? What you can say is, what you can do is put it on LinkedIn. See how people are reacting to it. See what are the comments you're getting. That will boost your confidence. See, it's all about the confidence that you have. If you're not confident, you'll always remain, someone who is scared, who is not able to speak very easily in front of people. So it's about getting that hang every day. And talking about resources, stick to something which you feel is uh which makes you understand things better. Now, like I'll tell you, I like watching TED Talks. Okay. Because I feel I'm getting to know new people, the work that they have done, and I'm liking that whatever they're speaking, it gives me a different type of insight. So you find out what is it that makes you better, which makes you feel comfortable. What is it that helps you learn something different? You don't need to now maybe Nikhil likes to watch English movies and that is what makes him learn new words. Okay. uh, Akash likes to listen to new songs and that is how he learns better English. Abhishek might want to do something different. So you find out what makes things better for you. That is the resource that you have to understand.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that help?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. But yeah, okay, I'll try. Then
Mm.
thank
Yeah,
you so much.
sure, sure. But you are a confident speaker. You're able to speak confidently in front of 270 people. That's a good thing. Wait, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Ma'am, like I usually spend 30 minutes or more than that time on some English speaking apps. So I'm not feeling nervous while talking with people. Like I also making YouTube videos as well. Like I never
Okay.
hesitate with talk with strangers. Like I'm talking with you, I'm not feeling any kind of nervousness. But now I forgot that if I want to explain something very deeper, like
Mm,
I'm trying to explain some kind of concept, so I forgot that yeah, what should I use here? What should
mm,
I don't use here? So these kind of things, man. This is a
it
issue.
it happens. Eventually, it sometimes we lack words. Sometimes we don't find the right word to explain something. So that will come with practice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So a lot of people have asked me that I we have not created any project. Guys, I am not asking you to create any project. The Masai School website is already there. You just need to do a project presentation on that website. Okay, consider that that is the website that you have created and present using that website. Like what is, how is the landing page? What is, why is it created like that? What is the tech stack used? Okay, is it fully responsive or not? Okay, so that is what you're supposed to do. So open the website, share your screen, and then start recording, and then explain the website. Okay. Is it clear? It need not be very long. It can be around 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. Got it? There is no hard and fast rule that yehi hona chahiye. You have to just explain the website. It can be in your own way. Okay. Are we clear on the website? So record it, share the link on LMS, and that's about it. Please ensure the link is accessible. All right. So if there are no more questions, then let's stop here because you all have to complete your assignment now, and this will take time. Amit, is it okay if you can message me about your question, because then it will take time. The others have to complete their assignment. Okay, so all the best, guys. Complete your assignment and we will connect tomorrow. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.